Hey, what's up, you guys? This is WD3, and this is your Hill Report Daily Marketing Tip. Well, thank God it's Thursday. You ever heard that? Thank God it's Thursday. All of you who are hearing the sound of my voice, you've made it through another day. Whether you're not feeling so well, whether you're feeling great, hopefully you're feeling great. You have made it to Thursday. You have another chance to get well. You have another chance to stay well. You have another chance to pay more attention to taking care of yourself. And that's what I want to talk about today. I was looking at a news story recently and I've been following it. Now, you guys know that my newspaper is not a partisan paper. My brand is not a partisan brand. But I do pay attention to trends. I do pay attention to things that need attention. And we do like to get good messages out and highlight good people. One of the things that I want you all to pay attention to, and it's a coming trend, it's actually something that you can get snared up on by continuing bad behavior or ill-advised behavior from the past. And when I say ill-advised, what I mean is I guess the simple way to put it is it's time to come together. It's time to come together. The obvious people that you should come together with are family, for one, friends. You might even have some coworkers that you have things in common with that you can come together. As you see, I'm casting a wide net because, frankly, there's a storm coming. I'm not talking about a physical storm in the clouds. I'm definitely not talking about some type of political storm or anything like that. I'm talking about a financial trend that many of you need to pay attention to. Now, in the past, we've, as minorities, period, we've been given certain programs that on the surface, we would think they're designed to help us. But we often talk about on this channel purifying your heart. There's been certain programs like um, welfare, Section 8. On the surface, they look like they're designed to help us. And I guess many of you should be able to guess if you've been paying attention. The coming storm is in the section of housing. Now, in 2008, we did have a housing crisis where many people were given subprime loans and they were defaulting, taking down financial institutions. That was one step of it. You go back further, 40 years, and welfare and the food stamp program seeming to help a lot of people, but they did not encourage two-parent households. They did not encourage multiple adult households in order to receive those assistance. I think a lot of times, because of problems and issues that arise, it was easy to lean on these programs in order to dissolve relationships and maintain tension and strife and spite, when in actuality, We should have been mending fences and exercising what's called forgiveness. I think right now we're going to be given no choice but to exercise this forgiveness, because if you look at the growing trend, there's a program called Section 8. There's a lot of minority females who qualify for Section 8, and they've been able to take care of themselves and their children under a safe roof in a warm home. And this is great, and I support that. But in the midst of this, there's become an attitude or a trend that says you don't need to cooperate as a family. And this was a bad thing, because now we've been backed into a corner. I'm not going to blame one wing of politics or the other, one party or the other. I'm going to let you figure that out. Now, I saw in the state of Illinois, and this is a state funded program, and it's going to be going everywhere, because if it starts there, it's going to spread everywhere. People who are new to the country, landlords are going to be given $9,000 per month in order to house these people who are new to the country. I'm not opposed to anybody seeking a better life. That's not what I'm here for. But you have to pay attention to what's going on. $9,000 a month far exceeds what a landlord would be getting for your typical Section 8 recipient. If they're getting $2,000 a month to house a Section 8 recipient, and now you're being offered $9,000 a month to house someone who's new to the country, economically, it's just going to be, as a businessman, it's going to be a better choice to take $9,000 over $2,000. So now what that does is it pushes out a person who was not able to afford rent in an equal market. So now this person has to turn to family, has to turn to friends in order to have housing for themselves and their children. Now, if you've been going around with tension, spite, and you haven't been cooperating with other people because your situation seems stable, now you have to turn to those very same people who you have had problems with. So my message is very simply, if you want to stay one step ahead of a bad situation, it's time to start mending fences. It's time to start going to people who you've had problems with and anticipating your future problem and saying, hey, I'm sorry, forgive me. How can we start on a better relationship? Now, this might not affect you, but if you think it will affect you, you think there's a possibility that it will affect you, you better start mending fences with family and friends, because we're all going to need each other. We're all going to need to come together. We probably need to start writing congressmen and things, and maybe create better incentives for uh, those who are citizens of the country. But until then, I think the better solution is to start coming together, start mending fences, start building up those old relationships that are torn down, which is the right thing to do in the first place. You're gonna have to forgive. Guys, it's time to come together. This is WD3, and this is your Hill Report Daily Marketing Tip. And guys, let's go get some sales.